Hi there everyone, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you very much for joining me again today for another card making tutorial. And I've had some new goodies, so I was tempted to get this stamp set called Encircled in Warmth. Didn't immediately jump out at me in the catalogue, if I'm honest, but since then I was like, oh, actually it really is a nice set because it coordinates with the Encircled in Beauty dies. So this is in the mini catalogue, which just came out in August, and the dies that coordinate with it are in the annual catalogue. Now the stamp set that comes in the bundle with these I wasn't super keen on, so I just have the dies. So it's nice that I've now got a stamp set that I can use in coordination with that, and it's actually designed to work together, and you'll see that referenced in the catalogue. So that's what we are playing with today, and I'm being super traditional. We're doing reds and greens and making it all nice and pretty. These are the dies. I just love them. Okay, and they cut out all these wonderful doilies. Absolutely love it. Love it. Just putting that to one side with that die that I want on the top there. And this is, we're going to replicate this card, just tweaking it slightly. So I've used Shaded Spruce and Poppy Parade. Now for me this is a really nice Christmas combo, okay? And this was a combination in some designer series paper or something that we had last year. And I thought, wow, they're great together. So I've actually I'm liking that combination for Christmas. Just really nice. Okay, so Shaded Spruce for the stamping. The doily shows through from the layer underneath there in the Poppy Parade, and then I've set it off with these gold metallic pearls. Okay, so it's reasonably straightforward aside from the fact that it's got some die cutting in it. And for ease, I did bring in my layering circles dies. Now you can use the circle that cuts out of the centre there for your stamping and stuff, but it is it's a red rubber stamp, so you can't see through it. I mean, there's ways of positioning it, but I just found it easier to stamp separately and then die cut that with one of the layering circles. So there you are. That's my version of the card that we're going to make. But we're going to do a different red-green combo, and we're going to use a real red card base with Granny Apple Green. Look at that. Isn't that cute? It just really pops off the page, right? Okay. So we don't need to do anything with our card base and red layer right away. So I'm going to do it's slightly different this time. I actually cut the aperture and then attempted to place the doily back inside. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut straight into, cut the doily straight into the base card. Not the outer shape, just the little finicky bits, this detailed bit. So I'm not going to cut out the outline, it's not going to make a whole aperture, it's just going to cut out the detailed part. So it's going to look slightly different. Okay, and then you decide which way up you want it. So whether, because there's sort of pointy bits and then flat bits, if you know what I mean. So let's go, I had flat bits sort of at north, south, east and west on the sample card. So let's go the other way just because we can. And I'm actually going to tape that into place. And I'm going to put more of the tape in the centre, because that won't end up on the card front. We'll be keeping all of that bit, so that's what we are doing. Got my die cut machine set up over here, so we'll run that through using our regular cutting sandwich, which is plates 1 and 2. And then sandwich your cardstock and your die between 2 number 3 plates. So we'll roll that through and all those pieces have just started to fall out already, so let's just get rid of those. Okay, so it's a really lovely die. I mean, it cost a fortune to try and do a punch that did any of this kind of detail. Okay, so this is the bit that we want. Okay, so there is a circle that cuts out of the centre of here. So if we weren't trying to do it onto a card front, we could have stamped and then die cut around it and stuff. But because of the way the design of the card that I'm making, it was just a little bit more tricky, which is why I did the separate circle. Okay, so you do get this nice circle, which is fractionally smaller than one of the circle dies, but only by millimetres or two. Of course, make sure that your die is clean before you go to use it again, so all these little bits just need to come out. You can use a pokey tool, or you can use your little sort of die brush there. Do that over your bin and your die will be clean. So I'll finish cleaning that before I clear up for the night. Just wipe off that because we are going to need our plates again for die cutting the circle. Okay, and we just need to just roll over this and just loosen up just these little bits that just want to hang on. So if you just roll over them backwards and forwards, it just helps some of those fibres loosen up, and then you should be able to just poke some of those through. The things that are always going to be a little bit more difficult are these little teeny tiny holes, but just a little bit of poking and teasing and they'll come out as well. And these like to get hooked on each other, you see, the detail dies. Okay, so get those out, all these little spots. Just takes a moment. Most of them fell out as we lifted the die anyway. Just a couple that need a bit of extra persuasion. So there we are, lovely die cut aperture. Isn't that just stunning? Really, really pretty. Those bits, just literally, you just tap your sponge over your bin or flick on it or whatever, they just fall off and the sponge ends up just completely clean again, so no bother. No bother at all. So this is going to lay out onto our granny apple green now, see? Okay, and we can just use our Stampin' Seal for that. That I'll put down, there it is. So I'm just going to apply that all around those edges as close as I can to that those die cut pieces. Just to make sure it's nice and secure, get as close as you can so it doesn't lift at the sides. And there we are. And I've cut this. Oh, I didn't tell you any measurements, did I? The granny apple green layer is a little bit smaller than I would normally make it, so it is 5 5/8 by 5 5/8 by 5 5/8 by 3 7/8 of an inch. Okay, and then the white layer is 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. Yeah, 5 1/2. Did you hear my brain literally empty as I was telling you those measurements? I was like, nope, I can't work it out in my head. So there you go. And when in doubt, measure it again. Okay, so we can get that onto our card base. This doesn't take long at all to make, but doesn't it have a wow? Probably going to take me longer to put all the pearls on, to be fair. Okay, so I'm not super worried about this bit being slightly lifted because we've got the other circle to put on top of it. Okay, doesn't that look lovely? Okay, we could put the other, this doily, would in fact, let me pull out one of the die cut ones. I keep a couple of the die cuts in here to try them for size on other projects. So we could cut out another one and have it layering over the top, but I found that a bit kind of, I don't know, busy. So I just went with cutting a plain circle from the layering circles. Okay, so I've got some scrap of card stock here for our sentiment. I'm going to use the same sentiment, it fits nicely in there, and we're doing the base, card base colour like I did on the original. So the card base was shaded spruce, so I'm going to do, so I did the stamping in shaded spruce, this one's real red, so we'll use real red. Fantastic, press nice and firmly and lift up. Oops. Okay, as it happens, it doesn't matter if it's upside down. And that's our gorgeous sentiments there. And like I say, this is just one of the layering circles that is almost the same size. It's literally a couple of mil in diameter bigger, but it's perfect for what we need. So we'll just lay that over the top, just looking to see that everything's reasonably evenly spaced around the edge, and then we'll just tack that down, run it through the die cut machine. These plain shapes cut through just beautifully. Okay, just a bit of my tape has just come away with that, so we'll just get rid of that. That's going to pop up onto some dimensionals. You could leave it flat if you really wanted to, but you know, who wants to leave it flat? No. My top tip for positioning things is to just add just a hint of the liquid glue over the top of your dimensionals, and then you've got just that second or two just to make sure that's exactly where you want it to be, especially with this edge being literally millimetres of a different size. And that looks good to me, so we'll press that down. And we've got our metallic gems here, so these are really great. So I think you get 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 100 gold and 100 silver in each pack, so they're going to last ages. Now I've got 2 packs, and then I put all my gold ones together and all my silver ones together, so it was just the way I organised my my storage. Okay, and then we can bob our pearls around the edge. I think I might just do the outer ones rather than both. So just where these little holes are, I'm going to use those as my positions for these. Okay, just go around each of those. Isn't it lovely? And I think it just gives it that sort of Christmas vibe, having a little bit of gold in there too. Got the gilded gems, of course, as well, that we could use. They're a bit more blingy. I think these are kind of nice subtle gold. We've also got, what else have we got? Some foil shapes, I can't remember now whether that was that in the previous catalogue? I can't remember. So that looks amazing. I think this would look good in fact I know it will, because one of my other demo friends Heather Forgan from Nellie's Hobbies. She stampwithnellie.com. She used these dies with one of the other designer series papers and stuff, and looked amazing. Sorry, my brain just needs to put these back in their little thing, otherwise they are going to go walk about. Right, that's it, people. So, same design in 2 colourways. Cool, huh? And of course you can invert those, mix them up, whatever. Use a totally different combination. Don't use red and green at all. Do something else. Do it in blues and purples and things like that. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that and it's given you some ideas. Links in the description. Please do like and subscribe. Thanks all for watching. Take care and I'll see you soon. Bye.